Hello, welcome to another Homemaker chat. Go ahead and link the first one down below, Power of Decluttering. I notice when I get so much stuff and things and just have so much, I notice that it can really bother my mental health. If you haven't seen in the vlogs, they might be up by this point, I'm not sure, but I wound up decluttering like my hair stuff, my perfume. I actually wound up going through some makeup, things that I know are overflowing, and my next thing on my list is my clothes. You can also see what you have. There's so many things I saw that I had and I didn't realize I had until I got rid of it. And I'm like, wow, if I'm not reaching for something, I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'm not gonna keep it for a rainy day. I'm tired of keeping things for a rainy day because most likely if I'm keeping it for a rainy day, I'm not even gonna use it. If it's at Dollar Tree and you can get it for a discounted price, don't buy 12 of them. That's my biggest thing, is that I go and buy and then I don't even use them. It's very discouraging to like really sit there and add up all the numbers and realize, wow, I'm really not using as much stuff as I thought I was. Rid of the stuff that you declutter, the stuff that whether you give it to Goodwill, give it to friends, give it to family, it can benefit them and it can really make somebody's day. Really go through your things, see what you need, see what you don't even use, and donate what you can. Whether that's to friends, whether that's to family, or just get rid of the things that you aren't reaching for. It can benefit somebody else. I lived in this house since 2017, I think was when we first moved in. We painted the walls, we painted the cabinets, we added some flooring, and we made it ours. After being in this house for 7 years, we're having no plans on moving anytime soon or having the ability to do so. I've just been wanting to like amp up the kitchen a little bit with like very, very affordable changes. One of the things, and I'll show like an overlay clip of it, is I added like a little serving tray to my stovetop. I have my spoon holder, I have a few candles that I use all the time, and I have like my salt grinders and my pepper grinder. And I find that just adding that in a color that I really like or goes with our kitchen, it adds it just adds something. You can find these serving trays at Dollar Tree. I've seen them. There's some that you can paint to go with your house. It's not like you have to buy it on Amazon, even though I did. And the one that I got was like $12 or so. So I really wasn't gonna spend like a lot of money to get something like that. Really like the marble pattern. It's something that is an easy clean in case like, you know, I spill something on it or whatever. So I just wound up going with that. One thing I really like about it is that it doesn't slip. And on my stovetop, since it's like a glass top, I find that is probably the best thing for it. Felt like it just added a little bit of like pizzazz and new life to the same. I was looking at the contact paper that you put on the kitchen cabinets and it's old, it's peeling up, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like that's gonna be the next thing on my list to do, is maybe go to Dollar Tree, go on Amazon and find contact paper that goes with our kitchen that is affordable, that is durable, but something like that can add a little bit of pizzazz to your kitchen. I feel like I'm in the kitchen quite a bit. Little changes can help out big time. And it's nothing like, it's not like repainting your whole house. It's not like picking up your stuff and moving. It's just like these little pizzazz things that can make it feel a bit more you. I have these decorated mirrors like along the top of the wall, like a quick coat of paint. They are silver, they're kind of like dingy looking. That was supposed to be on purpose. But I want to like just kind of touch it up, maybe just paint it completely silver, or paint them black, or paint them like a red maroon color, because that kind of goes with our little theme. Whichever. I think I'm kind of over the silver, and it's something that I got at Dollar Tree. Been on my mind quite a bit. It's just, how can I turn our house that we have now, that we've been in for 7 years, thank you Jesus we were able to buy this house, like how can I amp this up on a budget where we're not picking up our stuff and moving, where it's just like little things that I can do to make it more ours. Like, what sign can I hang up, or what can I paint that can give it new life? I think that's like the whole purpose of this, giving things in our kitchen new life. Things are not cheap nowadays. Things are really expensive. So one of the things I've been trying to do lately is getting really creative in the kitchen when it comes to cooking, when it comes to meal planning, turning leftovers into something new. That's what my mom did growing up. If we had meatloaf or something, or brisket, she'd put it on a tortilla shell, and put it in it, make it as a quesadilla, and it's something new. It's not just the same leftovers. So incorporating things like that can really make your leftovers go far. Freezing them, if you're able to freeze it, definitely freeze it. If you make an extra amount of sauce, freeze it. Cooking can get monotonous. It can be the same old thing, the same old week. Meal planning can be the same. Like, one of my favorite things is to challenge myself in the kitchen, something from scratch, and like having some friends and family test it out. I made pumpkin bread from scratch, and I thought I overbaked it. Normally I do the spice cake, the pumpkin puree, and like the eggs and the oil. I usually do that for my pumpkin bread just for the sake of ease. But I had a little extra time. I made pumpkin butter and I made pumpkin bread. It turned out wonderful. Who I gave it to, they absolutely loved it. Something new in the kitchen, make something from scratch. I feel like when we meal plan, it's the same old things, same old flavors, and you're not really learning new skills. What I want to do is to cook my way through a cookbook. I have this cookbook. It's the Better Homes and Garden, like 50-year anniversary. It is such a good cookbook, and I talked about it in my last Homemaker chat. It's such a good cookbook. But I challenge you to cook your way through some sort of cookbook. Even if you don't think you might like the recipe, maybe do like a half of a batch and give it a try. That's also a good way to see if you want to declutter the cookbook or not. Challenge yourself with different flavors. Challenge yourself with different techniques. You can learn so much, and you never know, that might be something that you're very passionate about. It's something that you can give back to people. You can bake something and give it to people. Something that I want to do when I get back from my trip. I want to go and cook my way through a cookbook at least once. I have a menu board in my kitchen, and I'll show you like a little overlay of it. I have a menu board in my kitchen, and it helps keep me accountable of what we're eating, of how many meals we have left. And I find that when I'm like, oh no, I really don't feel like eating what we have on the menu, because there's days I plan something and I'm like, man, that takes so much work, you know, I don't feel like doing that, blah blah blah, you know, you have your own excuses, whatever it is. I find that it just really helps me keep myself accountable with what we eat, with what we take in, with what we spend our money on. Now my husband gets paid every 2 weeks, so I like to plan 5 to 6 meals in that whole time. So that's why it looks like a lot. Also, on top of that, one thing I noticed is that before I had this menu board and before I stuck to it, actually winds up happening is that I wind up forgetting what exactly we're eating. So I have all these ingredients and I'm like, well, what did I want to make in the first place? Where did I find it? And I wind up going through that little like, oh, what is it? Or I guess I gotta create something because we spent money on these ingredients. It's like a really good accountability where you plan the recipe. What I do is I write the recipe down and what I got it from. So if I get it from a cookbook, I'll write the cookbook down. If I get it from a blog post, I'll do the recipe, and then I'll list the name of the blog in general. What I normally do is I do the recipe and then the YouTuber name and then YT, so I know it's from YouTube, so I can always find it. But it has, I think it, in retrospect, I really think it has helped us save money because I'm not planning recipes and we don't eat them and things aren't going bad. Whether you do that in a planner, I mean, it doesn't matter where you do it, as long as you have it and you know you won't lose it. One thing you can do if you're making a soup where it's like milk based or like broccoli and cheddar, for example, and you just didn't put enough flour, or it's too watery. My mom said to go and put a little bit of instant mashed potatoes in your soup. That way it helps thicken it up and you don't have to go and do the flour and the water, the cornstarch and the water. It really does help a lot, and it can help bulk it up too if you're giving it to a toddler. Be careful, because I've done that and it's turned into like some weird mashed potato thing. So be careful about that, because I've made that mistake before. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Stay tuned for other Homemaker chat. This one's a little bit all over the place, so I do apologize for that. I am in the works of pre-filming a little bit. I will see you in my next video, God willing. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. We've got a neighborhood cat that comes around. So if I ever film outside, you will see him, you will hear him. He's not quiet. I do apologize for for his cries.
Yeah.
He is cute though.